intro. Thank you, Maria. A quick check. Can you hear me and see me well? Is the background well? Can you see the logo, the date? Is everything perfect? Super, super. So I'm very happy to be with you. First of all, I hope that everyone is well. I know that in other conditions we would be together now, but I'm happy that Maria and the team decided to make this meeting virtually. This topic will be very much connected to what you have been listening since the beginning of the day. Topics related to the current situation, how we can be more flexible, how we can continue our daily life, our effectiveness in work. And the topic is all around remote working. So the format of this one will be more like a workshop, not so much like a presentation. Of course, I will give you some background at the beginning about technologies, about my background, how I use remote work technologies and stuff like that. But it will be very much also about you, about your experience, and to generate together some ideas how we can work more effectively while staying at home. And not only working, by the way, also studying, because I know that you will be having lots of exams now, so good luck with that as well. By the way, very funny story this morning. I think only Maria knows about it. My electricity stopped in the building, actually in the entire district. And imagine, I was thinking, what excuse I can give to you when I want to speak about the art of remote working when I don't have electricity. Of course, I found another way. I was about to play the internet from my mobile phone, so that was all fine. I will share some slides with you. I hope that you can see them well. Let me full screen now. Right. Yeah. I hope that you can see the slides. Please shout if you don't. So we're going to speak about remote working. As I said, things are not always ideal. Sometimes there are unexpected challenges. Sometimes there are conditions that are not under our control. I will start with a funny example. Maybe you have seen this. This video that I'm going to show you, it became super viral. By the way, I will reshare again. I will stop the sharing because I want to share it with sound. Let me see, the sound will work now. So here is the video. This is a professor who was giving an interview from his home to a very famous TV channel, and you can see what has happened.
Scandals happen all the time. The question is, how do democracies respond to those scandals?
And what will it mean for the wider region? I think one of your children has just walked in. I mean, shifting sands in the region. Do you think relations with the North may change?
I would be surprised if they do. Pardon me. My apologies.
All right, so this was just a funny video just to show you that sometimes mixing or finding the balance between work and life at home is not an easy task. By the way, this video becomes super viral. It was watched by nearly 30 million people on the CNN YouTube channel. So before we start, just a very, very short ask for you. Please eliminate all distractions. Sit comfortably, put the phone aside. This is one of the conditions for working effectively at home, really. When you want to really focus on what you do at home and all the remote work, I think this is condition number one. So please, let's all focus together. I know it's lunchtime, so I hope that there is still some energy in you. So about the fundamental shift today, why remote working is extremely important. It has been important before the crisis, but now it's even more important. It's the new old norm. Everyone is working remotely. Me personally, I think working remotely saved me a lot because I'm now working all remotely at home. Actually, we are 400 people in our company working in the office in Sofia, where I'm based. All of us were set to work from home, and the business is still working very well, still managing to serve the customers, which is also very important, to all the stakeholders, and us to keep connected. So I'm sure that all of you understand how important this topic today is. Just a few more words about me. I think Maria said enough, but I'm part of Atos, which is a global leader in digital transformation. My division where I work for is called Unify, and we work with collaboration tools. We promote remote working culture, tools that you can use. So it's very much something that I'm involved in. But also, I will speak not on behalf of Atos, I will speak on behalf of myself and my personal experience. I love gaming and football, if this is anyhow important to you. So these are my teams. These are my teams. You can see since the beginning, since I joined Atos, how diverse teams I have. I have people in India, in UK, in France, in Canada, in the States. So we are very, very diverse team working from different points of the world. And it has been like that since I joined. Actually, all my colleagues are working remotely 100%. It's not a standard in every company, in every office. For example, in my office in Sofia, we are allowed to work 2 days per week at home. So it really depends on the business, especially if the business requires some more communication with customers. But even hospitals, even different entities that work with people very closely are now going very digital. This is a question that I want to address to all of you. A question. Really, there is no right or wrong answer here. How do you keep your remote teams engaged? How do you keep your remote teams connected? How do you stay connected while you are studying? I know it's a students' conference, so while you are studying as well and working. I will give you the floor at the end. So you can now use the chat. So please, Maria, also please help with moderating this. Everyone who gives me an answer to this simple question will get a small gift from me at the end of this presentation. So I really hope that all of you will participate. And this is again just to generate some ideas. Now I will speak a bit about more technologies. I will not bore you really, but just to give you some trends. And this has been before the crisis, before all this has happened. There is a new notion called, and it's not even new, it's for 5 years already, it's called the anywhere worker. Meaning that people are super mobile now. By the way, I'm just wondering how mobile will be people after the crisis, but this is just an open question now. People are extremely mobile, they work everywhere. Another very interesting topic is the bring your own device policy. I don't know if you have heard that, but many people, especially millennials, and not only, of course, they have their own devices. Everyone is using their own devices. So no need for the companies to provide with PC, with mobile phones. So you're everywhere and you're connected to social media. There is another concept which is called the group, the concept of group collaboration. It's the third point if you look after the virtual teams. It's the meaning that there is a virtual meeting room. Everyone is expecting now to have the virtual meeting room, which contains all the information that you have shared, the history of your chat, all the files that you have shared. So then whenever you enter this virtual meeting, you can very easily find all the information. You can catch up with the information. So it's very easy for you. And of course, cloud access. All this information is now in the cloud. Many companies are, for some years already, are trying to migrate and are migrating to the cloud. Either sometimes they're doing a combination of on-premise and cloud, but in essence, all these tools that we are using today are based in the cloud. Okay, so there are many good things that we can say about remote working, but there are some challenging facts. Some of the people are still struggling to work from home. I don't know how it is for you, but 75% of the people, according to a research that we did in Atos, said that they are somehow distracted by the technology that they use. 56% feel that they are less productive. And of course, many people say that they were working remotely. This is a very interesting number, and this is what is happening now during this crisis, actually. You can see this is the percentage, the increase of people, of number of people that are now looking for these kind of tools, video conferencing tools. And this is according to one platform, which is called G2. It gives ratings about this kind of products. They're seeing a massive, massive interest for these kind of tools, and they're becoming more and more popular. And this is not a coincidence. We all know why. What we have learned about teams and engagement when working with remote work tools, when working from home. So there are other interesting trends, and I'm sure some of them or all of them you already know. Millennials, they're forming really the workforce, and it's an interesting survey that I have in front of me. By 2025, according to IDC, millennials will take 75% of the workforce. And I'm sure here there are people who are even younger than millennials, it's the generation Z. So this is absolutely the norm, because millennials, they like information anytime, anywhere, right now, immediately, without any excuse, just by one simple click. And there are many different researches by Google also stating that how we work with information more and more. So they're definitely defining the new way to work. Different challenges with collaboration tools. And I want you to look at this list here and you to tell me if you're seeing any of this and you're thinking that any of this you are facing in your daily job, in your daily work while studying or working. So multiple applications, different applications, right? You go to your browser, you go to another application, then you use email, and somehow you can get distracted by all these applications. So here one recommendation or advice is, whenever you're looking for this kind of collaboration tool, try to find one which is really combining all the information and all the streams that you want. Sometimes it's difficult to switch between the apps. If you look at the very right, sometimes, imagine the situation that there is a team of, let's say, 10 people working together, and you are a new member of the team, just joining the team. And you enter the virtual room, and you cannot find any information that these people have been sharing for the past 3 months, let's say. So for you, it will be very, very difficult to catch up. So again, when looking for such solutions, try to find such that really keep all the information in the cloud, where you can go and really become part of this virtual space. Anywhere workers feel disengaged sometimes, isolated sometimes. So now in the workshop part, I really, really hope that together we will try to elaborate a bit more to discuss how we can tackle disengagement while working at home. This is the very last slide before we jumped into the kind of a Q&A part, more the workshop part. This is just for you to see actually how many different streams of information we have. It's not just mobile, it's not just home. There are many different streams of communication. So communication can come from everywhere. And sometimes it's distracting. Sometimes even social media can be very distracting. I don't know if you have this feeling, but again, when looking into any solution, try to look for such that really combines all the information, all the streams, and not to be so distracted. So this way, hopefully, you and your teams to be more engaged. So this is now a short case study. And now we're going to speak about, because it's a workshop, we're going to speak about how to make your teams more engaged. Of course, almost everything here I have tested myself. I'm doing in my daily job. And these are simple rules, because when we think about virtual meetings, actually, very often, they're exactly the same like in the actual physical meetings. So they're just simple rules that you take from your physical meetings and you put in your virtual meetings. So there is no such big difference. Of course, there are some differences, but some of the things are very common. So this is the case. Imagine that you're working in marketing. You are in the marketing department. You want to convince the higher management to secure more budget for your campaign because you're seeing a very good opportunity. For example, entering a new market or upselling. It doesn't matter really. You're just seeing a very good opportunity. And I will give you some points now. Of course, the first thing that I told you, it's extremely important when trying to organize such call. Where the case studies here is asking you to organize this call and how you're going to organize this call virtually. Of course, choosing the right tool is extremely important. Is the first thing that you should do. Sometimes it's A/B testing. Just look at the different tools that you can use. For example, in our company in Atos, we work with a solution called Circuit. You can find lots of information about it online, and it exactly includes all this that I told you, like virtual meeting. You can switch between your mobile phone and your computer and your telephone very easily. All these kinds of things that make it easy for you. So you need to decide with your team which is really the collaboration tool that fits the most. Is it just project management? Is it about cooperation? It's really up to you. Then you have to need a specific outcome when you're organizing this call. What is the specific outcome? So to make sure that your team is on the same page and to make your team much more effective. Is it solving a problem? Is it discussion? Is it about giving updates? Is it about ideas? So have this specific outcome in mind, what you want to achieve with the help of this meeting, why you're organizing this meeting. And now here is a question for you. Let's make a test and see what do you think if in this scenario we don't have agenda to follow. If we don't send in advance an agenda to follow, what challenges will this, I don't know if it's mistake, you will take me if it's mistake, but what challenge will happen for the meeting? Does anyone wants to speak up? Why is important the agenda to follow, and what would happen if we don't send an agenda in advance? I'm sure you know the answer. So please don't worry. No one wants to speak? Come on, why you are so shy? I see so many faces in this chat. All right. I will start here. So what we do normally before we organize the call. It's very, very essential, especially if you're speaking with higher management, to send this agenda in advance, step by step, but not only the agenda, but also the time allocated for every step of this agenda. So for example, you have 10 minutes for introduction. You have 10 minutes to discuss, in this case, the current market situation. You have 10 minutes to discuss alternatives. You have 10 minutes to hear opinion, and so on and so on. It's really depending on the structure and what you want to achieve. But that's why agenda is very, very important. Decide who to invite. It's very simple rule when you are making conversation online. But deciding who to invite might make your meeting even more efficient. It's easy. I know it sounds very easy, but sometimes we may invite people who are not really involved in this topic, who cannot contribute anyhow to our topic, and just are not connected to this topic. So maybe in this case, we want to invite the higher management, the salespeople, really depending on what we want to do with our project. And the final thing is a plan to follow afterwards. Again, sometimes we really don't consider this as a step, but it's again very simple. Just send the steps to follow after you finish your call. What do you want to do next? What do you want to do by your next meeting. This meeting can be next week, can be next month. Again, it really depends on your project, but really step by step, what do you want to achieve during this time? So these are the 5 steps here that I would like to suggest to all of you when when trying to organize a meeting, especially if the meeting is important and will involve lots of stakeholders, lots of people. All this work sometimes looking very simple, but me personally, sometimes I forget to do some of this. Now I'm reminding about this question. I really hope that I will get some opinions here. This question now is really straightforward. How do you keep your teams engaged? I will give you a list here of things that you can do in your daily work. Again, some of them might be very obvious, but we really sometimes forget. So the 3 in the box that you can see now, I have put this in the box because we use them now. Get rid of any distraction, something that I kindly asked you at the beginning. Use your camera, make it human, ask general questions. So all these are important. But what we do before, during, and after the call, of course, you might want to dress appropriately. For example, you can put your suit on, you can put your shoes. It reminds you of your office environment, so it's good to try that. Check out the Wi-Fi strength, sit and get comfortable. All these are very important before you start your conversation. During the call, try to join early. I know sometimes it's misleading because you are staying at home and you might think that you can join any second the call, but you can be also late and miss the introduction part. So make sure you join early. Check in regularly. This is what I did in the beginning. I asked Maria if you can hear me and see me well, because technologies are not always perfect. Technologies can make you some challenges. So you need to make sure that the message is well received. Use the mute button. I see that all of you are using this now. When done speaking, just mute yourself. It's very often the case that I can hear some colleagues doing their laundry or speaking with their kids or hearing some dogs barking. So all these kind of interesting situations, they happen if you don't use the mute button. And ask for feedback and input. That's also important. After the call, leave the call, of course, because if I leave my camera on, maybe you will continue seeing myself. Or sometimes if I don't leave the call, the recording will not be closed. So I'm seeing now that we are recording this call. Perhaps if I don't leave the call, the recording will continue. So it's very important that you click the exit button by the end of the presentation of the call. Share recording. Maria will share the recording with all of you after the call. So those people who didn't manage to join, will make sure that they will see the recording. Thank the participants, and of course, try to feel good. At least you're at home. You are in your own environment. For example, I built this environment just for me. I have the green screen here, and I'm feeling comfortable here at home, even sometimes more comfortable than physical meetings. I will make another try to see if anyone wants to add anything to this list here, and just simply answer this question. Very straightforward. I'll give a minute here. You can use either the chat if you're shy to speak up, try to type it on the chat, or just take the mic and share your thoughts. Maria, if you can still hear me, do we have any activity on the chat, or should I continue? All right. So perhaps I will leave this question open. I hope that when this presentation finish, and this day as well, you will take some time for you to think about this question. It is a very simple question. Just how do you keep your teams connected? I'm going to show you one resource that we did at Atos. It might be interesting for you. In case you don't have any ideas now on how to keep your teams engaged and connected, you can go to this website. You can see the URL just right now. And on this website, you will find many different resources about remote working. Blogs, videos, you can request a consultation with an expert in remote working. So all this kind of stuff you can find here on this page. Of course, this resource is absolutely free. So yeah, you can spend some minutes here. I'm sure you will enjoy. Here on this slide, I wanted to show you the present that I have for everyone who participates. Unfortunately, I couldn't motivate anyone to participate, but this was my course in personal branding, free course that I have shared online. Anyway, I'm happy to share with all of you. Whoever interested in this course can email me on this email, and I'm happy to send this course for you for free. So thank you. These are my contacts. Before I leave, I will leave you with another video, which is on the next slide. And this is really the end of my presentation. I really hope that you heard something interesting for you, something that may motivate you to use in your daily life, in your work. Really, again, try to find the right collaboration to try to organize your meetings properly as if they were in the real physical world. Do not underestimate the nature of the virtual meetings, because sometimes they are exactly the same. And now I will show you this video. This video we did with our colleagues. It's really to encourage people in this situation, to give them some idea how to work effectively at home. This guy that you're seeing now, this is my boss. This is my manager at the company. He's a very nice guy. So enjoy this 2-minute video, and I hope you enjoy.
If you hoped working from home would be a good chance to escape from all those meetings, then think again. The meetings tend to follow you everywhere. But there are some great tips for making those meetings effective and even enjoyable to participate. And many of them are the same for virtual meetings as they are for face-to-face.
Start on time, have an agenda, have somebody chair the meeting.
If you're organising a meeting, then only invite those people who can actually contribute. The rest of the people who maybe just need to be informed, you can record the meeting and share that with them afterwards.
I usually grab a cup of my favorite cappuccino and also get rid of any distraction on my PC. I close any websites that I don't use, and I only leave the conversation tab.
Get actively engaged, don't get distracted, and use all the web collaboration capabilities offered to you.
To listen carefully to the others and to take notes. Also, don't hesitate to ask questions so you know what are the next steps for you after the meeting.
Close all other windows on your screen and put aside your mobile devices.
If you're chairing a meeting, regularly check with the other participants that they understand and agree with what's going on, and ask them for feedback.
I put my shoes on. That reminds me of going to the office. This is how I start my day.
It's really annoying when you do a meeting from home to feel thirsty and hungry, so make sure you have your water with you and a piece of your favorite cake.
So now you're ready to go. You've closed the other tabs, you've avoided distractions, you've got your water and your cake and your shoes. Now enjoy. Remember, it's your friends and colleagues on the line, and you're all pursuing a common purpose together. Have a great meeting.
So Maria, oh, that was so really from my side. Thank you. I just want to show you my pen. I don't know if you can see it. It's written Ranepa. So greats for all of you.
Thank you, Etienne. Thank you very much. Can you see the chat?
I was not sure about seeing the chat.
Because
no.
yeah, I made it to be seen to everybody, and there are answers to your question.
Wow, super.
Can you see them? Probably you can answer or comment on them.
Chat, yes, I see the chat. Wow, I'm super happy that I see some answers. Okay, so let's quickly go through the answers. So making and following agenda, avoiding all sounds around, trying to find good internet connection place. Perfect, absolutely perfect recommendation. Daily sharing news and challenges, informal talk about work sharing, sharing interesting news and links via social networks, and asking for opinion. Absolutely very important to ask for feedback. It's important to organize a call not to get problems with your confidence and holding attention of people. Absolutely. Confidence is also very important when having a conversation. Confidence sometimes can be low, so maybe do some exercises before you do your call, do some stretching. This is what I do before my calls. To make the teams engaged, it's beneficial to give to everybody an exact task for the limited amount of time. Absolutely. People should know what they have to do, feel their need during the work. The members of the team should be motivated by something, by the way, a special gift, for example, as you have done. Yes, so what I have done with this gift is just to put some flavor of gamification. So you can gamify your meetings, you can use some gifts, you can use some questions. So all these work very well. So I thank you too. Very, very nice comments. Please write me, all of you who have, and not only who have done these wonderful comments, and I'm happy to share also this gift with you.
I've got a question for myself.
Yeah.
What do you think is more efficient for organizing yourself to work remotely now?
What is the most efficient thing right now?
For you, yeah.
I think a very big upgrade now for me, it's also thanks to this conference, is a green screen that I have behind me. I don't know how much engagement it will give, but I can very easily change the background, because I have seen many colleagues trying to changing the background, let's say being in Paris, in different cities. So I think this makes it more entertaining. And what is also very important, also connected to confidence, and very often it happens to me. Sometimes I don't feel confident to participate in the call. So imagine many people speaking in the call. I just don't feel confident. I'm waiting too much before I join the call. And it's not easy to join a call when 10 people are trying to speak at the same time. So it's very important, if you are managing a call, to make sure that you ask everyone in the call about their opinion. So if I was too shy, let's say somewhere during the call, I should ask Etienne, what do you think about this and that subject? So asking questions is also very important. I think this makes very big difference. I have one more comment if I have the 2 seconds to go through it. I'm a student, so I organize remote working. By the way, I think everyone can see the chat now and read together with me. I see something very, very important. Compliment the colleagues. And I put this in the presentation. Make it human. Compliment the colleagues for joining, for contributing, for sharing, for being together. This is a way really to stay connected. So that is absolutely fantastic advice. Happy to work with no distractions. Again, there might be many distractions. So one of the things is just to focus on what you see on the screen. But a great comment from Jovan, if I'm reading the name correctly. Apologies if not.
Thank you, Etienne. And we also will try to follow the advice, and we also try to be gratitude and polite. And so I know that, thank you, despite of the stress you have today in the morning. When, oh, you have one more comment.
Okay. I still don't see it. I think I read this one. It's the long.
Sorry. It was written to organizer Etienne. Where do you personally feel more comfortable and productive, online or offline meeting?
Yeah, good question. I think it's best to have combination of both. It shouldn't be only online. Sometimes it's not possible to be only physical. So, for example, the guy that you saw, my manager, how we communicate, he's based in the UK. So every Monday we have a weekly call. He is reviewing my tasks, discussing my tasks. He's coaching me every Monday morning. But 2 or 3 times a year, he or I travel to see each other face to face, just to exchange some ideas, to discuss, to enjoy, really to make the physical the more human connection. So maybe I'm more a digital guy, I should say. I feel sometimes more confident when I'm speaking online. But sometimes when I don't see who is in front of me, this is also very challenging because I'm not sure if people are listening, if people are engaged. It's very difficult as well. So I should say I prefer a combination of both.
Okay, thank you very much.